how much input do you have in choosing your opponents, if any, or does the UFC just say, we want you to fight this guy, and you're like, okay?
That's a good question, actually. A lot. I haven't, until just the last couple fights, I haven't been offered a fight in a number of years. When I was at middleweight, I was just kind of had to fight whoever they gave me. But I never really argued it. It's kind of whatever. But once I moved to 205, I asked for Rashad, got Rashad. I guess I did get offered Shogun because that was on like 10 days notice, and they they needed a short notice replacement. So I got offered Shogun. I asked for God damn, what was the next person I fought? It was in Canada. Oh man, that's gonna drive me crazy. Anyways, DC had just beat him for the oh my god, that's gonna drive me crazy.
We'll look it up for you here.
Volkan Ozdemir. Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
So I asked for Volkan Ozdemir and got him. I asked for Jon Jones. I got the title fight. I did not ask for Alexander Gustafsson. I will tell you that right now. That I said no. It's the only fight I've ever turned down. Actually, in my whole career, the only fight I've ever turned down is Alexander Gustafsson. And the UFC wouldn't accept it. It was the weirdest thing. But it wasn't like no, you have to fight this guy. I fought Jon Jones on Saturday, and they called on Sunday when I wasn't even home yet. Like both my eyes were still swollen. I had two black eyes and a broken nose. And they were, hey, here's your opportunity. You can get right back on track. You can go to Sweden and fight Gus in his hometown. And I hung up on him. I was pissed. Like, come on, man. Like I just lost like this moment I've been working for my entire career. The biggest moment of my life. I go there, I shit the bed. It doesn't go my way. And then the next day you want me to fight the next toughest guy in the world? Like I was not happy about that. And as happy as I am, I did go to Sweden. I'm super happy about it now. I did not want to go to Sweden at the time. Like I have to fight Alexander Gustafsson. He's number 2 in the world. He's like number 15 pound for pound ever. Second greatest light heavyweight in history. And in his hometown, like pass on all of those things.
Yeah.
So then they called again Monday. My manager called. I told him to never call me again. And then he called on Tuesday. And in those couple of days, like my wife had kind of been like, well, hey, I would go to Sweden with you. Like, you don't have to go by yourself. And then it went from that to like, well, if you go there and you beat him, like that gets you right back in title contention. And, the whole time I'm just staring at her like, don't talk to me right now. Like, I'm not even want to talk about fighting. And then, as it goes on, then my wife's like, listen, sometimes you got to do things you don't want to do to get to where you want to be. And then eventually I took the fight. But so, and then all the, I do a good job of navigating what I want. Like, I'm not looking for easy fights. I look for the ones that make sense. So, after Gus, Glover was coming up. I asked for Glover and got Glover. So it sounds stupid, but for the most part, I get what I want. But I'm not asking for easy fights either. So, Glover Teixeira was absolutely not an easy fight. I didn't necessarily want to fight Alexander Rakic. He just wasn't exciting to me. Like, and I think we've seen why after my fight with him and then his fight recently with Thiago Santos. It's just not a fun guy to fight. And that's not because he's super dangerous. It's because he doesn't do a lot. He's very much trying to win. He's not really trying to fight. So I wasn't really excited about that one, but I was trying to get back to where I was before. And, I think I had that home run mentality. Do you know what I mean by that? Where what I should have done was just backed out of the whole top 5 kind of title picture and just got myself back on the winning track and kind of got my mojo back and get my confidence back. But instead I'm trying to swing for the fences every time and just trying to fix it all with one shot. So it was like, I fought Glover coming off a win. I was like, well, I'll fight the next best guy and I'll just beat him and I'll get back to where I was. But I don't think I was personally and emotionally ready to be in like those kind of high stakes kind of poker. And, but that's what I wanted. And that's what I got. So I guess it kind of bit me in the ass.
How about this? What about this next one then that you have coming up in April?
I didn't really ask for anybody for this one. I wanted a certain date. That I was more concerned with the date. You can't really ask for 2 things. You can either ask for an opponent or a date. You can't have both. So they wanted me to fight a lot sooner than I wanted to. This was kind of this April, mid to late April was kind of the time frame that I wanted to fight. And they kept wanting me to fight way earlier. So I just, if you're going to kind of ask for something, it's got to be one. Like there's other guys I wanted to fight. I'm a big fan of Jimmy Crute. I like his style. I like his game, but he wasn't necessarily on my radar at the time. But again, you got to ask for a date or a name. So I wanted this date. And so they just picked whoever and I took it. I like the matchup though. It's a fun matchup.
Mm-hmm. I remember this. I don't know if it was last year. Lots of people was like calling for you actually to fight Johnny Walker. Mm-hmm. Would you have rather fought Johnny Walker or like you're doing now, Jimmy Crute?
No, this is going to sound really petty of me. Okay. I don't like Johnny Walker at all. I think he's a terrible person. I think he's an awful human being. I think he's overhyped. He's ranked too high. I think he's nowhere near as good as he thinks he is. And I just think he treats people terribly. And I think I do more damage to Johnny Walker by not fighting him than I do fighting him and beating the shit out of him. Mm-hmm. I hate how he's always talking trash about how I'm ducking him and like I've never been offered a Johnny Walker fight. But Johnny Walker wouldn't understand that because he's floating around in the Netherlands where the UFC doesn't really care that much about him, So like, of course he would assume that like he doesn't even understand like how the negotiations for a fight contract work at my level. So for him to say I've turned down a fight offer is absolutely crazy because there's no actual fight offers at this level. Like those are conversations. Like there's not like, here's Johnny Walker, here's who you have to fight, take it or leave it. It doesn't work like that at this level, but he wouldn't understand that because he's not there. So it's at the highest level. It's like who's available. You have to get the list of who's available that makes sense. And then you got to look at dates. When do they want to fight? When do I want to fight? It's a lot. There's a lot that goes into making a fight. Once you're in the top 5, it's timing, opponent, what does the UFC want him to do? So it just, I don't know. It's so frustrating to me. He just always is running his mouth about how I'm ducking him. And I think the entire world can agree I've never ducked anybody in my whole life.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone agrees with that. And I think some fighters just like to play that game, which
I think it does. I think it's more impactful to him when I don't respond to him and I won't fight him. Like not that I've ever been offered, but I'll never ask for a fight with Johnny Walker. Even if they did offer me Johnny Walker, I would say no, because he gets more out of losing to me than he does not fighting me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I loved your metaphor of not always trying to hit home runs because sometimes you just got to get on base. Sometimes you're better off hitting a double. And would you say has it been part of your maturation process to like sort of figure that out and be like, hey, yeah. I get paid. Like I assume your contract, you probably get paid the same regardless of whether it's a top 5 or do you not?
Yeah, it's the same.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
so
it's the same.
Why always try and fight like the top 1 guy, 2 guy, which
I made more money to beat Devin Clark than I did to fight Jon Jones.
There you go. So
you got to think about that stuff too. Like I've always had a home run mentality. It's like I need to get there fast right now. Mm-hmm. And over time, like I think people forget that I'm still only 32 years old. And I grew up in this game. I've been doing this since I was 17. So it's not like I've been in all these other high stakes situations in my life. Like I've been kind of learning on the job. Sometimes you have to check your ego and you got to step back and say, what's best for my career? Like my coach had this conversation with me after I fought Alexander Gustafsson. It was two losses in a row. I'd never lost 2 in a row in the UFC. And his question was really simple, but really impactful. Like, do you want money fights or are you still chasing the title? Because if you want money fights, we can do that too. But this path looks a lot different. You can keep hitting home runs and you can keep swinging for the fence. If all you're doing is getting money fights, you want to fight Anthony Johnson? Fine. And that was what the UFC wanted initially before he had gotten signed to Bellator and moved over. Initially, that's what they wanted was me to fight Anthony Johnson. So it was like, that was kind of their path. Like, this is what this looks like. But like, I had to figure out my path. Like, am I fighting money fights? Okay, then we fight Anthony Johnson. Like, that's a money fight. We make a lot of money doing that. But if we're still chasing the title, that path has to be very strict. Like, and that's what my coaches and management do. Like, so we're going to fight Devin Clark, and then we're going to fight Jimmy Crute, and then we're going to work our way back up, and maybe we fight Yuri Prochaska, or maybe we fight the loser of Glover and Jan. But like, this is a very strategic path. Like, it's not just fighting your Rumble Johnsons of the world, hoping that you can catch him before he catches you. It's not super strategic. So that's, my coach has helped with that a lot.
Right. Because I would think there's more than one path to an extent to a title. Like, fighting the top guys matters, but also putting together winning streak matters.
Winning streaks matter.
If you're always fighting the top 5, it's like, even the best guys in the world, you're going to have a hard time winning every single one of those fights.
Right. So you can say, I got to win over Johnny Walker. I got to win over, Joe Schmo or whoever. Or you can say he's won 4 out of 6 and capped it off with the number 2 guy in the world. Like, it's all about how you sell it. It's all about it. I mean, all of us in the top 5 are good enough to win that title. So it's who can sell it, what can you put on a poster and look good, and that's just the sad reality of it.